Sweet.
And the brewer, sorry, the deli is actually...
No comment.
Look at those ruins and the broken house.
I already knew it. Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel.
And welcome back to part 2 of our Madeira trip. Last time we showed you all the nature adventures that we experienced.
That's right, and this video is going to focus on those city-centric adventures. Check them out. Before we start, please excuse our terrible Portuguese. Apologies in advance for our mispronunciations.
If you've already watched our nature activities video, then you know we made the capital of Madeira, Funchal, our home base for this trip. So what better way to start off this video than there?
Funchal was founded back in 1421 by a Portuguese discoverer named João Gonçalves Zarco. We'll learn more about him later.
One of the best things you can do in Funchal is simply walk around. Start in the old town and go where the wind takes you.
One place worth checking out is the Mercado dos Lavradores. Here, vendors bring in fresh fruits and veggies every day, except Sunday. And there's even a fresh fish market, if you're into that kind of thing.
And I know this video is about the city stuff, but there are many public parks sprinkled throughout Funchal, offering you some shade and relaxation. You might even stumble onto a street market.
One specific street we'd like to highlight in Funchal is Rua de Santa Maria. One of the oldest and most colorful streets, this cobblestone path dates back to 1430 and leads up to the Church of Santa Maria Maior. It's wide enough only for pedestrians and is lined with restaurants and cafes.
This area had become quite rundown over the years, so in 2014 the local council came up with a smart idea to revamp the place. That's when the Art of Open Doors project was started, which turned Rua de Santa Maria into a public art space.
Local artists were invited to create artwork that invites people to experience something deeper. More than 200 doors were included in the project, and it's really fun to spend time looking at all the different pieces.
We recommend getting there in the morning before the restaurants open. That way, the doors and artwork aren't already covered by chairs and tables.
Another cool experience to add to your Funchal trip is a stop into Blandy's.
John Blandy started his wine business with his brothers Thomas and George in 1811. The Blandy family is unique in being the only family out of all the original founders of the Madeira wine trade to still own and manage their own original company.
Madeira wine is a fortified wine made directly on the island, and it differs from normal table wine in two big ways. Number one, instead of in a cellar, the wine ages above the ground in big barrels of American oak. And number two, instead of an average alcohol content of 10%, Madeira wine has an average of 18% and ranges all the way up to 25%.
We took a tasting tour, and even for non-wine drinkers like us, it was a lot of fun.
Sweet.
And the brewer, sorry, the deli is actually...
No comment.
Once you've conquered Funchal, it's time to venture out to other parts of Madeira. One way to do that is to use the cable car.
First of all, little tip, you can book your tickets online right from your phone, which means you get to skip this crazy line.
The cable car was created to replace the old Monte railway road, which was in operation from 1886 to 1943. The cable car, though, didn't officially start running until 2000.
The ride itself takes about 10 minutes, and along the way, you'll get nice views of Funchal and the port, as well as experience the shift into the more green towns above. Once you've reached the top, you've landed at our next recommendation. Monte.
This is a suburb of Funchal, and its most notable landmark is the Church of Our Lady of the Mount. This parish was completed in 1748, and after suffering an earthquake in 1818, was rebuilt and consecrated by the Archbishop of Miradouro.
Emperor Charles I of Austria died in exile in 1922 on Madeira and was buried here. You'll find his statue outside in the courtyard of the parish.
But besides the church, the most notorious thing about Monte are the wicker baskets. These baskets were invented in 1850 to carry locals quickly down to Funchal, but today they're just a tourist attraction. The line is brutally long, but don't let that scare you, it goes quite fast.
Down. This one. These men, called carreros, wearing their all-white uniform and recognizable straw hats, wear special boots that serve as the braking mechanism for the baskets. The route is about 2 kilometers, and you can reach speeds up to 38 kilometers per hour. Though there's sometimes also traffic.
We're glad we got to experience the baskets because they're so iconic, but if we're honest, it's a bit Disney-fied, very touristy, very hyped, but honestly only something you need to experience once. Look at those ruins and the broken house. Once you're done, you can take a taxi or simply walk the 2 kilometers back to Funchal.
Our next stop is one of the most famous towns on Madeira, Santana. Santana is most known and most visited for its historic thatched-roofed houses.
It doesn't matter where on Madeira you are, you'll always find some kind of souvenir featuring these houses. Agriculture is also very important here because this region is the most fertile.
Being completely honest though, Santana also felt a bit Disney-fied. The houses are cute and they do a pretty good job of sharing the history of the region with their visitors, but instead of feeling like you've experienced an authentic piece of culture, it feels like you got a little bit of the touristy version.
If you've got a car and find yourself on the northwest side of the island, then this little stop-off is a great place for you to stretch your legs. This lookout offers 2 glass bottom platforms that jut out into the water and they're completely free to use.
Here you'll get views of the ocean below, as well as the beach of Foz Ribeiro de Faial, plus the structures that intrude into the water, which were formed by lava streams.
We took the public bus to our next destination, Praia Formosa.
What do you have? This is a black pebble beach, which makes it hard to move around on. I wanted to touch the water without soaking my shoes, which turned out to be impossible.
But because of those nice waves, water sports are very popular here.
What did you find?
I found a rock. And Jamie.
Oh my god!
Crazy.
What a coincidence in nature!
Yeah.
Amazing! If you head to the westernmost point of the beach, you'll eventually run into this tunnel.
It slowly leads you up through the mountain until you arrive on the other side, which is the start of our next notable activity, the Lido Promenade. This is like a boardwalk area and is an alternative to the Lavada walks you saw in our nature video.
Along the way, there are 3 different public pools, so don't forget your swimsuit.
Plus, this area is the perfect place to drink a poncha while watching the sunset.
This next little town was our favorite of them all in terms of beauty.
Remember the Portuguese discoverer we mentioned during the Funchal clip, João Gonçalves Zarco? Well, he is credited with the discovery of Madeira back in 1419, and Camara de Lobos is believed to be his original landing point.
Lobos means seals, and this town got its name because the explorers had met a huge colony of them here back in 1419. This town is quiet and peaceful, and we really enjoyed relaxing here.
Now to the opposite of relaxing, Cabo Girao. This is an extremely touristy thing to do. It's another lookout point featuring a glass floor, but this one is no joke.
Cabo Girao is one of the highest cliffs in the world. At almost 600 meters above sea level, there were definitely people refusing to step out onto this platform. As opposed to the Guindaste lookout, Cabo Girao is not free, but it's not expensive. Walking out onto this platform will cost you a whole €2.
And our final recommendation for this video is another cute little town, Ponta do Sol. Just like Camara de Lobos, this town is decorated beautifully and is so aesthetically pleasing.
And just saying, we had one of our best vegetarian meals at one of the restaurants here. So make sure to have some food during your visit.
Maybe you could already tell by its name, but this part of the island is special because it gets the most hours of sunshine throughout the year, making it famous for its beaches.
This particular beach is a rock beach, but also has a bit of sand, which is rare for Madeira.
You know what's special about this place? It has black sand. Look at this.
If you head towards the west, the beach is greeted by a few small waterfalls.
And at the very end, after about a 10-minute walk, there's even quite a big waterfall there to welcome you.
For us as a couple, with me more the nature person and her more the city person, we find the perfect combination of those two aspects here on Madeira.
If you've never been here before, we hope we inspired you to take a trip. And if you have, we hope we showed you something new that you've never tried before.
Like and subscribe for more of that kind of content, and we hope to see you again.
Bye.
Bye.